Hi there, welcome back to the Average Person Advice Channel. I'm the Average Guy Nick, and today I want to talk a little bit about problem solving. So, problem solving is basically a skill set that we use pretty much every day, and a lot of times we don't even think about it. Because generally, once we've already figured out how to solve a certain problem, we just kind of go back and do it, again and again. So one good example of that is, say, something simple like running out of milk. You run out of milk. The problem is that we're now out of milk. Of course, the solution is to go buy more milk, probably in whichever way you normally purchase your groceries, and then that solves the problem. But of course, problem solving is used in simple problems like that, but it can go up to very complex problems as well. A lot of organizations want to see that people know how to problem solve properly and correctly. But problem solving is also important for your regular day-to-day life, even in setting goals and moving forward, whether it's your personal finance or your health, relationship building, pretty much everything. Usually there's some kind of problem or something that you don't like that you want to change. So that's a problem for yourself and things maybe you don't like, and then you got to figure out how best to solve that problem, and that's going to increase not only your abilities but also give you that sort of better standard of living, get you to where you want to be in your life. And of course, organizations, it's the same kind of thing. Most roles, there's problem solving involved in one element or another, and organizations want to see that you have the ability to figure out what a problem is, come to some solutions, evaluate those solutions, and then execute the plan to solve the problem. And of course, much more complicated scenarios, there might be a big team, there might be a lot of communication that needs to happen as well. Problem solving fits in, with a lot of different roles like project management, planning, etc. So it's a very important skill set, I think, for everybody to learn. And the sooner you start to just think about how you solve problems and try to put sort of steps in place, I think the better off everyone is going to be for that. So again, first thing is what's the problem, right? So again, a very simple one like milk, it's very easy. If you're out of milk, you go buy more milk. But what if it's something more complicated, like you want to secure your financial future, something along those lines, right? So each situation is going to vary for each individual person, so you have to have your own plan based on your situation. But the first thing is you determine what the problem is. So what's the specific problem? Is it not making enough money? Is it not saving enough money? Etc. to secure that financial future? Is it maybe not having a career that pays well enough? Or maybe it's a combination of all these things, depending, right? Then the next piece is, once you determine what that problem is, that you're not making enough, you're not saving enough. Now we have to basically list out, well, what are the solutions to that problem? So if it's, say, not saving enough, well, it's okay. What are we spending our money on? Where can we save more money so that we can where can we cut out certain expenses so we can save more money? If it's, for example, not making enough, then it's okay. What do we need to do to advance our basically career, whether that's additional education or looking for another job or stepping up, that kind of thing. Maybe it's how are we investing our money for the future? So it's are we investing? If we're not, how do we start investing? So once we have sort of the list of problems and we start looking at that, we start do research to determine what solutions are going to work for your specific situation. So I'll focus on specifically, let's say, the career development. So if for that, you would say, okay, here's my current career, here's my education and my skill set. So what you want to do is start doing some research within the skills and experience you have and education you have. Where can you move forward? How can you advance, right? Maybe you have the right experience, but you need some extra education. And one of the ways you can determine this is by looking at the job market, right? So if you are in, say, like a let's say a wedding planner or something as an example, or an event planner, you can look at that and go, okay, well, how do I become, say, maybe a senior event planner? Or how do I become an event planner, like maybe a manager at an organization that manages other event planners or something along those lines. Like, how do I step up my career to that next level? Then you do some research online, right? Look at Indeed, look at LinkedIn, try to figure out what is required. What are those companies looking for in terms of experience and skills when they're hiring those people? And then once you have that, now you can start looking at, well, what steps do you need to put in place to obtain that experience and skills to be able to actually start applying for those jobs and having a good shot at being a successful candidate, which is then going to, of course, elevate your career, and you're going to get, hopefully better compensation that goes with that, right? So in some cases, maybe it's the education piece. Maybe they want you to have, some kind of certificate or, some additional education that you don't have. It could be that they want you to have maybe, leadership experience. So for that, there's different options. I mean, you could look at potentially volunteering in like a leadership role and getting experience that way if you have the time to do that. You can also start talking maybe to your manager wherever you're working and say, I would like to get some experience, as a leader or supervisor, and see if there's anything they can do to try to help, get you set up with that. Or maybe, there's other opportunities. Like you could be, a leader at, let's just say you have kids or something, you could maybe try to be a leader for, something at their school or something along those lines, and start developing that, but in a way that you can put it onto, your resume and continue to develop and advance that way, right? So once you've determined sort of those skills, you put that plan in place. Here are the steps I'm going to take to get there. And then, you have to commit to that plan, right? And that's, maybe one of the most difficult pieces for a lot of people. You have to really put the time aside and think, okay, I'm going to put time aside every week and I'm going to work on this, whether it's the education or the skill development or, the leadership, whatever is required. And then once you start building that up, then you update your resume, you update your LinkedIn, you make those connections, you make those links. And now, once you have that developed, you can start working on applying to those roles. And, as you do that too, I mean, you're going to start to find other things, right? Because maybe you get to some interviews and, if you don't get the role, you can follow up. You can ask the questions, can you tell me where, I didn't put the best foot forward, or where you thought I was lacking in my experience or skills, and then you can go back and continue to try to develop that while you're applying for other roles to develop your career and move forward, right? So that's just one example of how you can use problem solving on, say, an area of your life or something that you want to develop or change, and then, prioritize, set a goal, and be able to move forward in advance, right? And you can apply this sort of problem solving concept or methodology to pretty much, anything you want to change, anything you want to improve, situations at work, and you can apply it to really simple concepts, or you can apply it to much more complicated concepts. Of course, when it's more complicated, there's a lot more to consider, probably a lot more steps that need to be worked on, and you might even need to have other people help you or be part of a team with you to accomplish or solve those problems and accomplish the goals to move forward, right? So anyways, that's sort of problem solving in a nutshell. And again, it's just important to start looking into it, start doing your own research. And I think that's one of the biggest things is once you identify that problem, start doing research on that problem, because then you're going to learn a lot about it for yourself. You're going to feel more comfortable with it. You're going to understand what you need to start working towards. And then the second thing really is just committing yourself, right? Commit yourself to move forward, to work on those solutions to make things better, for yourself, or again, if at work, to accomplish the goals that need to be accomplished to move forward, right? Anyways, that's all I really want to talk about today. So until the next time, Average Guy signing out. Thank you so much. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.